Hi, I'm Shaurya Thapa of Borrowing Tape, and today I'm joined with Ari Kruger, who is the writer and director of the 2024 crime comedy The Shakedown. Welcome, Ari. And before we start talking about the serious aspects, the technical aspects of your film, I just want to talk to you about the wild thing in your film, which were the celebrity male sex dolls. Without being discreet at all, was what was the idea behind the celebrity sex dolls? Because we have one sex doll who looks like John Bon Jovi and another one who looks like Antonio Banderas. That caught me off guard. And like, I have two questions actually. Like, where did you get those dolls from? And what was the idea behind that? Like, including that as a gimmick.
I just felt that male sex dolls haven't been represented properly in the culture. No, I'm kidding. I actually was inspired by like this Vice documentary that I saw um, about a subculture of sex dolls in America, and specifically male sex dolls. And I just thought it was so weird and so funny. And when writing the film and knowing that Justin was going to go off and have this affair, and I thought, well, what could, his wife should also find her, have an affair in a different kind of way that's like kind of outrageous and surprising. And, I explored this idea, and the more I thought about it and started writing it, it just felt like, why not?
Yeah.
And then when we've got guys in Cape Town, like they're prosthetic guys who make, special effects for films, and then they made the sex doll for us out of 100% silicone, medical silicone grade. So it was like very high-end dolls that were extremely heavy to lug around set. The ones in America are lighter, and you can actually, they're more malleable. These
Yeah.
ones were quite heavy and cumbersome, which added to the comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. So my apologies for starting the conversation with that, but yeah, I was like
I'm
intrigued.
used to it.
But like you've clearly had significant experience in the TV comedy space. You have worked on several sitcoms and the whole Tally franchising, and you've also directed short films. But how has the transition been for you from TV and short films to your full length feature?
I would say that having done 3 seasons of television where I was the showrunner and pretty much directed all of them was the best possible training for doing a feature. It was by far the most seamless project experience I've had, and the most supported project, especially with Amazon coming on to commission the film. Um, and I think I felt more ready than ever to dive into the feature film world, and it has been something I've been wanting to make for a long time. But the experience of TV certainly prepared me in the best possible way. I think with TV, you can leave certain characters, certain arcs open-ended, but with the film, everything has to tie up neatly, and I guess that would have been the challenge, just trying to find a really satisfying ending to the chaos and comedy of errors that takes place in the narrative of the film.
Perfect. But were there any, you said like this film was an idea of yours for some time, but while writing the screenplay, were there any specific dark comedies or any film from any other genre that inspired The Shakedown?
Lots. I would say In Bruges
Uh,
was a big influence. The TV show Barry,
yeah,
uh, a lot of the Coen Brothers movie, Burn After Reading, Fargo, Guy Ritchie, Uncut Gems in more recent films. There's quite a big, like quite a vast amount of films and TV shows which have a similar kind of sense of humor, dark sense of humor. Also Australian films as well, the Blue Tongue guys, Blue Tongue films, Nash Edgerton's work, great dark comedy there. So I've just been inspired by that kind and love that kind of genre for years and years, and felt like it was time to establish or make a film that has a similar kind of tone.
yeah, it's perfect because like when I was watching your film, when Justin's brother, that character and the hitman and all were involved, that did remind me a bit of Barry. So I was like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like I can see Coen Brothers in every crime comedy that I watch, but it was like, yeah, there's a hint of Barry also somewhere. But
Also,
like, how long did the principal photography take for this film, and where did you film The Shakedown? Was it entirely in South Africa?
yeah, we shot the whole film in Cape Town in South Africa. It was a 6-week shoot, 5-day week, so it was 35 days. Yeah, and quite a seamless kind of quick in and out shoot. We had to dodge a lot of rain and storms. Cape Town in the winter is notorious for its storm. So the biggest challenge was actually shooting around the heavy rains.
Right. Your lead character, Justin Diamond, he is depicted as this successful entrepreneur, insurance broker, who has a dodgy past and a secret life of sorts. But were there any real life inspirations behind this protagonist?
Um, I guess to some degree, some people that I know and people that I've grown up with in my life,
Yes.
you know, people that fly high and are considered golden boys. But yeah, I would have derived influence from those kind of guys, and I guess the specifics of that kind of medical aid broker, specifically around the points, is quite that is quite a specific job title that you know exists in South Africa, and these are guys that try motivate you and encourage you to join the program and you know maximize your points, cash out for money. I don't know if this kind of thing exists in America in this capacity, but certainly I've had quite a few experience with those kind of guys who actually try to cancel my policy, and they swoop in and you know give me the crib notes on actually how easy it is to just maximize the points and get free flights and book hotels and all this shit. So yeah, I thought there was a lot of comedy in that kind of character. So I wanted to, you know, explore that character on the screen.
All right. Because like initially, like when the film starts, I could see a hint of Jordan Belfort, but I was like, well, that's just an overstatement, I guess. But you mentioned a lot of influences, American films, British films, Australian films. But what, according to you, sets the Shakedown's comedy or certain aspects of Shakedown that, sets it apart as a South African crime comedy?
I would say the characters and the nuances of the characters. South Africans speak in a certain way. We've got our own slang, which is unique to South Africa. Certain words and idioms and ways that we speak are quite unique. And I encouraged all of the cast to speak in that way and I really wanted to bring that South African flavor across. So I would say, you know, the comedy, if there's something that sets it apart, it would be the nuance and the flavor of the characters and how they speak. And then potentially also just the geography of like, you know, showcasing like where we are in this Cape Town and how that looks and how that feels as well. The actual humor and the situational humor, I don't think is particularly South African. I feel like that's quite global and universal. Yeah.
So, all right, Ari, my final question was that, so once now you've done a full length feature, now it's going to be out in Prime, so it's going to be global. But what are your plans after that? Like, do you plan to stick to the comedy genre or do you plan to diversify a bit?
Well, I do love working within this crime comedy genre, and I'm writing a film at the moment which is in the same genre. So I would very much like to keep working within
Yeah.
the space. But I'm of course also open to potentially. I think I will, you know, um, comedy is just such an instinctive thing for me, and I know always how to make scenes funny and how to make characters funny. But I do feel that there's a film in me which is potentially a bit more dramatic and serious, and so maybe in a few films' time I'll reach that point where I'm no longer always taking the piss and actually just leaning into the drama.
Yeah.
You know, not
Yeah.
always trying to crack it every few seconds. But yeah, so I do feel comedy's within my wheelhouse, and I do love figuring out ways to realize the comedy within the scenes and within the film.
All right, perfect. Thank you for your time, Ari. It was lovely
Thank
talking
you.
to you, and I enjoyed the movie as well. As I said, the Antonio Banderas doll gave me a jump scare, but other than that, I enjoyed it. And
Awesome.
thank you for your time, Eric.
Thank you for your time.